Hey guys, welcome to Chess Bootcamp. I'm currently working through Chess.com's character chess bots in the intermediate range. We've done quite a few so far, and now we're on to Wilson from Haiti. And the description is, how's your endgame? Wilson loves to queen pawns and hopes to beat you to the punch. Okay, so let's start a game and let's see what Wilson's got. I'm going to play c4, I'm going to play the English. I'm just trying to mix things up a little bit. I've never played the English. I played it once yesterday against another bot. Okay, this looks fairly dependable. Looks a bit like kind of reversed French, really. So I'm going to play e3. So that protects his pawn. So I'm quite happy to see that. So Wilson's now used a move to use this fourth turn to capture with a pawn that he's already developed. Okay, so if you look at the situation after I recapture, and he's also allowing me to develop my bishop for free on the next move. So what's he got? He's got 3 pawns that have advanced. I've got 2 pawns that have advanced, but I've now got 2 minor pieces out on the board, and that is a distinct advantage at this stage in the game. He's also moved his f-pawn, so his king is slightly vulnerable on that side of the board. I notice if I were to play queen h5, check, he can't block with either the bishop or the knight or any other piece. I think he would have to push g6 or move his king. So the reason I've played that is because it's weakened his position and also opened up this dark square diagonal, so I might think about putting my bishop on b2 at some point and come out with a surprise attack. So I know this means that I have to use a move now, moving my queen again, but I think that was acceptable. There was a reason for that double move. Okay, he seems to be all pawns, doesn't he? So I'm thinking bishop back to b3 looks sensible. Is any of these bots going to think about castling their king at any point in time? Because they just don't seem to care about it whatsoever. Very odd. Okay, oh, right, okay. Can I move my knight again, or should I think about castling? I like that position. I want to secure that square, and then I can... I'm not under threat right now. I'm going to castle next turn. Okay. That piece is defended once and attacked twice. So there you go. Basic tactics. So I'm attacking the queen and the bishop. Okay, so he's been forced to capture, and now he's moving his knight into a position where it can be taken. So if this pawn takes, it does open up this diagonal for the bishop, but that's covered right now, so I don't see any issue with that. I'm currently a pawn up. I'm about to be a pawn and a minor piece up. No, I can drop my bishop back down to b3. I'm going to castle now, and then try and swap off queens if I can. Okay. So best way to defend the bishop, I think just drop it back to maybe here or there. So I could, for example, defend it with a knight, but then bishop takes, I recapture, and then bishop is dropped. So that would be putting my knight in the position of defender, in fact only defender, but a position where it can be removed. So eliminating the defender is a standard tactic. Seems like the dogs have woken up now. Okay, so bishop back to here or here. I'll put it back to here. If he wants to push another pawn, he can do. Okay, let's grab the open. No, I think that would have been better, because this bishop's now in my way. I want to put my rook on there. So let me show you what I want to do. Oh, but then I can't move that pawn forward because the bishop takes rook. Okay, let's work with this. I'm going to push the e-pawn. Okay, that's fine. But now you see my bishop can have a roll. So let's put my bishop... No, I'm going to capture. I'll just capture. King's in the middle of the board. It means I want to open up the middle of the board. Okay, I've got a couple of options now. A6 is vaguely attacking. I've also got bishop G6 check. That's quite nice. And it connects my rooks. So it's a forcing move. It means that black's now got to spend a turn moving the king. My queen's still under threat, don't forget that, hunty. Okay, I'm going to stick my queen in there now, because I'm threatening now to capture on a5. Okay, I've dropped a pawn there, that's alright. This with check. Right, I now notice that the king and queen are on the same diagonal. There's the possibility now of a bishop fork. Not the most common fork, you see. Knights are typically the fork masters. This bishop's currently safe. Let's just keep checking for now and see what I can make of this. Another check. Another one. Can't move my bishop to there, which I'd like to do. I can grab the pawn and attack. No, I'm not attacking the rook because the rook's now paired. What to do? What to do? I can't push this pawn forward to give my bishop a square there because the pawn's defending that knight. So maybe I need to be putting my knight back into the action. Okay, I'm going to drop my bishop just back to here. It's a slightly backpedaling move, but the bishop's now defended by a pawn, so now my knight can come in via d4, so hitting the queen once. Okay, so now we've got an exchange. That's all. These exchanges are good for me. Alright, because I'm up a minor piece. I've got two bishops now against black's knight, plus I've got a decent pawn structure because he's such a pawn pusher. You're a big pawn pusher, mate. So the bishop's under attack. I can defend with a rook. I can check here. If I check there, king's got to go either to there or there. Then I can take the pawn with check. Okay, take the pawn with check. You can put a rook in the way. No, he's not going to do that. Right, bishop's still under threat, remember. Okay, now I can play, for example, queen to there with check. Aha. Oh, you devil. Right, so now I have to come back, I think, to there. Now I've got two pieces attacked. I didn't count on that move, but this is okay. Queen now defends the bishop. I should think about centralizing my rooks. Let's put a rook on D. I'll probably put a rook on E. Then I can move my bishop and threaten to exchange. Okay. I think rook on E now. That protects that square for the bishop. So now I can start checking on the dark squares as well in the corner. Queens are facing off. Let's remove his queen. Just makes life easier, simplifying the game a little bit. Okay, knight's attacking the bishop. Bishop is defended. I can take the knight off and simplify further, or I can keep the bishop pair on the board. Let's keep the bishops on the board for now. I'll just drop it back. There's no rush to try and convert this game. Okay, bishop back to here now. If he wants to exchange with the knight, he can. Okay, let's put a check. Can't go there, right. Try and get rid of this pawn. Okay. So I can't recapture with the pawn because that would drop the bishop, so I'm going to recapture with a rook. And now I have this move. So now the question is timing. This is a good move. It removes these squares, which would force black to come here. So if I play pawn takes first, then that move then becomes potentially checkmate. Okay. This is looking good. Now maybe rook to b5. Oh, he's defending. Old Wilson. Let's go there. That rook's now pinned, so exchange is forced. Okay, so I'm now 2 pawns up and a minor piece. What can I do about this? Just drop the rook to there. Need to be careful not to get back ranked now, so let's make an escape square for the king. Okay. Don't need to use it yet. I'll attack the pawn. Take the pawn. Check. Life's easier when I can have a pawn on the on a light square, because then it can be defended by my bishop. And that is the final blunder, I think. Okay, so they're putting the rook on the same diagonal on light squares as the king opens it up to a pin, and now there's nothing that can be done, so I'll just convert that queen. This pawn can't move. The king's just going to wander around in a daze, and let's just squeeze the king away. No rush on this. Check. Putting my queen a knight's move away from the king. And that's it. End of the game. Okay, so that's Wilson. So he likes to queen his pawns. He just made far too many pawn moves at the start of the game, and that really is something that you can punish. It's something that I see a lot of beginners do far too much, moving your pawns. If you go back to the middle game, let's go back further than that. That 20 moves in. Okay, look where his pawns are. He's got 2, and he's got 3 over this side of the board, but they are jaggedy, right? I've still got 1, 2 there, and most importantly, 3 in front of my king. And then these 2 are sacrificial, right? It's just, you've got to take care of your pawns. Look here, this is move 10, right? I have a lovely structure of 5, a little bit of central control, a nice pawn chain there, and then 2 here. And he's got this absolute gumbo of pawns. They're just scattered like stars in the sky. Very hard to manage your game and to cover all the bases when your pawns are scattered around the board like that. So that is the way to beat Wilson. Let him throw his pawns up the board. Just keep sensible, keep your structure safe, and you will for sure get opportunities later on in the game. Alright, see you later.